I'm going to make this one quick because you've probably already seen plenty of reviews on this M1 iPad Pro already. Let's get hustling. I've got the 12.9 inch model with 512 gigabytes of storage and cellular data, and all this comes out to a massive £1,449. If you add the £120 pencil to it, it comes out to a whopping £1,569. That's absurd for an iPad. So if you own any Apple products that you've bought recently, you probably know that you don't need a knife to unbox these. You can just get straight into them. Apple keep their packaging pretty minimal and environmentally friendly, so as soon as you open the box, you're immediately presented with the iPad itself. My first impressions are it's much bigger than I expected, and it's got so much screen. It looks spectacular. Underneath the iPad you get some foams. You also get a charging brick, which is only 20 watts. And finally, you get the double-headed Type-C cable, again for charging. All of this goodness is expertly packaged in paper packaging and not plastic. Good job here, Apple. So I haven't had this device for very long, but since I've had it, I've put it through some rigorous testing. But before we get into my personal experiences, let me give you a rundown of the specs while you go down below and like this video. The biggest difference between this 2021 model and the last one is the M1 chip that powers it. It's the same chip that powers the new MacBooks and also the recently released iMacs. It performs an absolute treat in the desktops, and little spoiler, it does in the iPads too. Another big upgrade in this device is the screen. It's still at 12.9 inches, but now it's a liquid retina XDR display with 600 nits of peak normal brightness and 1600 nits of peak brightness when viewing HDR content. That is insane. The way this is achieved is by using 10,000 mini LEDs, and these are arranged in 2,500 localized dimming zones. That way you get deep rich blacks and vibrant colors. So aside from the excitement of the screen, I've got the cellular model, and these feature 5G. And I have to tell you, 5G is outstandingly fast. I don't exactly know how fast, but boy will I find out in time. The iPad features 3 cameras, and there's been a bump in these too. It features 2 wide 12 megapixel cameras and 1 ultra wide 10 megapixel camera. With these newer cameras, you also get a brand new feature, center stage. So center stage is used during FaceTime calls, and with center stage, the camera pans to you as you move around the room because it is a wide angle camera. It also zooms in and out accordingly, and it does a pretty accurate job if I do say so myself. It's all controlled by AI, and Apple's AI has gotten really good over the past few years. Okay, onto the pencil. This thing has some really impressive technology, even though it looks like an overpriced stylus. The packaging here is the same as always, minimal and stylish. The pencil connects to the side of the iPad, attaching magnetically. It also charges this way too, which is really cool. It's able to detect changes in pressure and tilt, so it changes the style of your writing depending on the way you hold it. This can be really useful for drawing too. Right, enough of the specs. Let me give you my personal experience of the iPad in the short time that I've used it. From what I've seen so far, this is a really enjoyable device to use for media consumption and making notes. In fact, I've scripted this entire video on the iPad just to get a good idea of how I feel using the iPad to make notes. And I gotta tell you, my experience with this device is nothing less than spectacular. I wanted to use the iPad to do absolutely everything, to watch videos, make notes, do Word, PowerPoint. It's just such a beautiful screen. It makes the one behind me look like it's aging. The pencil does take some getting used to though, because of how slippy and slidey it is. It's not like a pen and paper, it's got much less friction, but after using it for a couple of days, I got used to it. So that was a quick rundown of the iPad Pro with the M1 chip and the Apple Pencil. I know it's a much shorter video than usual, but I thought I'd give you my quick opinion because there's plenty of in-depth reviews on YouTube already. However, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like the video because it helps me out a hell of a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe because I'll have a lot more content on this iPad coming very soon. And if you have a particular video idea in mind, comment it down below and I'll try to get that done and out for you as soon as possible. Until the next one guys, keep hustling.